This is a long one, not a short one, so baby, buckle up. This is essentially a 7-section breakdown of this ad. I needed to break it down into 7 sections to understand all of the things I was feeling while watching it. So with that said, let's roll the clip.
Halloween sleigh, but now it's spill the tea.
Part 1, product placement. So they start off by focusing on the table where there are products placed, all luxury items. I saw YSL, and I might or might not have seen some Jimmy Choo. Whatever the case, at this time in this economy where people are fighting between food and healthcare, little bit out of touch, don't you say? Section 2, the theft.
Spill the tea. Who's the thief? Busted!
The elf immediately being identified as the thief just didn't sit right with me, because why is the help, pun intended, the first person you look at when something is missing? Classist much? But this isn't even the worst part. This is just where the ick starts. And from here, we're going to dive right into section 3, the script.
Bad news, Mariah Carey. The elves are striking this year. Elf revenge for putting us through holiday hell.
It was eerie to me and starting to get a little cringe when he began with, "We're going on strike because of the way you treated us last year." I don't know about you, but the American people have been treated pretty badly this past year. So it feels like there's a direct correlation to current times and this dialogue. Now let's dive into section 4, intentional marketing.
Santa's helper quit. I'm pawning all this so I can afford elf therapy.
That's my blush, elf boy.
Your lipstick? I'm taking.
He's resorting to stealing so he can afford health care. And that doesn't feel coincidental or like a mistake. As we very well know, marketing is an intentional business. You want to build something that resonates with the masses and the general public, something that attracts all kinds of age groups, especially in a commercial where it's Mariah Carey. And the message that I received from those few lines is that he works for an employer who lives in a gigantic mansion, who doesn't pay a livable wage, and also does not want to provide health care. Does that sound familiar? And maybe I am big tripping, but this feels like corporations are spitting in our face and calling it rain. Our government is currently in a shutdown that began well before this ad was released, currently fighting between food stamps, SNAP benefits, EBT, and healthcare. And you guys didn't take a second to think, hey, maybe this messaging is problematic for what we're sending out there right now. Maybe this is not the right time to have this messaging. Maybe. And one of my biggest issues as a whole regarding part 4 is that the people in the rooms that are creating these marketing campaigns are so out of touch that they didn't even think there was a problem with this ad. Or they did it on purpose. They wanted us to see it. Let's go on ahead and dive into part 5. Christmas is canceled. Roll the clip.
Christmas is canceled. No bells, no cheer, no glam. Bye, sweetie.
I'm very self-aware, so I always try to keep in mind that there isn't a perpetual boogeyman chasing me. But this messaging just felt off. So my first instinct is to feel mocked, because everybody's aware that a lot of us are planning to do a blackout boycott for Thanksgiving weekend and possibly the rest of the holidays. So this feels like, yeah, I'm going on strike. Ha ha ha. What? Based on your script, they are on strike because of mistreatment, low wages, and no health care. This isn't funny. It feels like corporate America is literally just like, haha. And while she is saying all of this to the elf from the comfort of her mansion. Let's dive into part 6. You can't cancel Christmas.
You can't cancel Christmas.
Any last words?
And this is where I continue to think that they're laughing in our faces, because what do you mean I can't cancel Christmas? And the entitlement that it's coming from. Again, messaging. We are trying to cancel Christmas because of all the vile things that corporations are doing and the vile things that our representatives are doing against us. And y'all think it's cool to make fun of the fact that we plan to boycott the holidays? It's almost like you're calling our bluff. Newsflash, it's not a bluff. As we step into the last and final section, please soak in the next clip because it has so many layers.
Last words?
Yeah.
Can we not?
I felt so fucking crazy watching this the first time. Like, I watched it maybe 10, 15 times because I couldn't shake off the feeling. You mean to tell me that in a room full of people, you thought it was a good idea to turn the working elf, who is clearly not being paid a livable wage, who is clearly not able to access health care, you turned him into a snowman against his will so you could force him to work through the holidays? What? I don't know. I might be mistaken, but isn't that what's happening to federal employees right now? They're being forced to work against their will without being paid. Corporate America, what's going on? And I'm really trying to decipher what the actual message is here, because if it's coming from me, you either are trying to tell us that we are slaves to capitalism and these holiday celebrations, or you're just calling us slaves and saying we're just going to do whatever because we're sheep. I'm not sure what the messaging is, but how did an entire room of people miss these 7 points? Unless it was intentional and a declaration of war against the people in America, which I don't know if you guys have noticed has been going on for a very long time. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments.
So Sephora must really think y'all stupid. Let's see who fall for their bullshit. They made that whack-ass commercial with Mariah Carey disrespecting the whole world, and now they want to fake apologize. And their apology ain't even an apology. The way they're apologizing is saying that they're having half off everything. So they could disrespect you, but you could still spend your money with them. You ain't hear what I just said, right? They didn't even have the decency to say, you know what, we apologize for the commercial that we made. Mariah Carey didn't have the decency to say, you know what, we apologize for the commercial that we made. What they said was, if you keep buying our product, keep being stupid, we'll still mess with you. So we're going to give you 50% off. Oh, and if you didn't see the commercial, look at this shit.
Halloween.
Here we go.
Slade, but now
This shit is whack, too.
it's
This shit is whack.
spill the tea. Who's the thief?
Busted! Bad news, Mariah Carey. The elves are striking this year.
Bad news, Mariah. The elves are striking this year. That's how y'all feel about us? I keep telling y'all, we as the consumer have more power than the people that sell the products. All you have to do is not go in them stores, not purchase their shit, and guess what happens? Their companies drop. And they know that. That's why they say, you know what, we're going to give y'all 50% off. And some ladies, some gentlemen buying things for ladies are still going to go in those stores and say, you know what, the commercial wasn't that bad. They wasn't talking to me. Oh, yeah? I'm out.
Hello brothers and sisters, my name is Kachina and I hope you're doing fine wherever you're tuning in from. In today's video, this is a topic that I have covered over and over again. I've covered never more than once. And in the previous videos, I was so glad to see in the comment section that so many people are talking about they started boycotting Christmas probably 5 years ago, 8 years ago. That's something nice. It only proves that more black people are now opening their eyes, or rather are getting their eyes opened. There is no way you can keep on celebrating these holidays, making these people richer at a time whereby companies are laying off workers. Thousands of workers are being laid off during these holidays, at a time when the government of the day is stopping welfare with EBT cuts and SNAP cuts. I don't think there is any reason why you should be out there celebrating the holidays. And in 2025, it's high time that these physical protests are done with. We all know that with the physical protests, there is not so much impact. If anything, they just end up blaming you as a black person. If at all you're watching the video, they end up blaming you for all the violence that ends up occurring in the streets. But with the knowledge that the black dollar has so much power, then you better hold back your black dollar. That is the only way you can protest. That is the digital way of protesting. That is the modern way of negotiating with the government, because that's the only language that they understand. That's the only way that you can negotiate with these billionaires, because that's the only language that they'll understand. That's the only way that you can hurt a billionaire. The only way you can hurt them is by touching where it hurt most, and in this case, it's on their pockets or in their pockets. That's the only thing they care about. They have no goodwill whatsoever. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. So, with the current movement that's going on, I'd just like to encourage it. And yeah, if at all you're on the same line, I'd really like to know what your thoughts are concerning all this that's going on. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section, and I'll reply to all of the comments. I do read all the comments and reply to most of them, if not all. Otherwise, having said that, I'd just like to ask you, if at all you did enjoy the video, then please give it a thumbs up. And if at all this is the kind of content that speaks to your soul, then please consider supporting the channel by subscribing and also by sharing this video to more people, so that more black people can get to view this or to hear this great message. Otherwise, until we meet again, goodbye.
So the Mariah Carey Sephora commercial, I believe, is truly insensitive to what is going on right now with the government shutdown. And I really hate when people act like they don't understand why people are upset. Now, granted, I know that people always want to be mad about something, but this is understandable. There are a lot of people who are out there working for the government that are still working and they're not getting paid. It's a lot of people who don't know how they are going to feed their kids day to day. So the last thing that they're thinking about is Christmas. So for them, unfortunately, Christmas is canceled. And the commercial is very, very insensitive to what is going on right now.